In the quaint, sleepy town of Willow Creek, there lived a woman named Elara. She was a solitary figure, always shrouded in a cloak of mystery. The locals whispered about her, their voices filled with dread and superstition. They claimed she was cursed, marked by an ancient evil that had been passed down through generations. The legend began centuries ago when a witch had cursed Elara's family for a grave transgression. The curse was said to be eternal, dooming every descendant to a life of misfortune and sorrow. Elara, the latest in this cursed lineage, seemed to bear the brunt of the witch's wrath. Strange occurrences followed her wherever she went, lights flickering inexplicably, objects moving on their own, and a pervasive sense of unease that clung to her like a shadow. One stormy night, a young couple, Sarah and David, moved into the old Victorian house at the edge of town. It was a beautiful, if somewhat dilapidated, property that had been vacant for years. As they began to settle in, they started to notice strange things happening. Doors would creak open in the middle of the night, and they would hear faint whispers echoing through the empty rooms. Then they began to see her. Elara would appear at the edge of their vision, a ghostly figure with piercing eyes that seemed to see into their souls. At first, they dismissed her as a figment of their imagination, a product of the old house's creaky floors and drafty windows. But as the days turned into weeks, the sightings became more frequent and more terrifying. One evening, as Sarah was preparing dinner, she felt a cold draft wash over her. She turned around to see Elara standing in the doorway, her eyes filled with a malevolent gleam. Sarah screamed and ran from the room, but Elara was right behind her. David, hearing his wife's terrified screams, rushed to her aid. He found Sarah huddled in a corner, shaking uncontrollably. Together, they tried to make sense of the terrifying events that had been unfolding in their home. As they delved deeper into the town's history, they discovered the truth about Elara and the curse that had been placed upon her family. They learned that the only way to break the curse was to perform a ritual at midnight on the night of the full moon. The ritual was dangerous and fraught with peril, but it was their only hope of saving themselves and the town from the evil that had been unleashed. On the night of the full moon, Sarah and David gathered the courage to perform the ritual. As they chanted the ancient words, a powerful force was unleashed. The house shook violently, and the wind howled outside as if the very fabric of reality was being torn apart. When the ritual was complete, there was a moment of silence. Then Elara appeared before them, her eyes filled with peace. She thanked them for breaking the curse and faded away into the night. The next morning, when the townspeople woke up, they found that the curse had been lifted. Elara was gone, and the strange occurrences that had plagued the town for centuries had ceased. Sarah and David continued to live in the old Victorian house, but the haunting memories of their encounter with the cursed woman would stay with them forever.